I like Hutchinson the best, and I don't think Linderbaum is worth a top 10 pick. Thibodeau slipped, and I am going to grab Thibodeau. The Giants took Khalil Elam. Good for them. Kenyon Green is a guarantee in my mind. He would be such a dream pick right here. Evan Neal is still on the board. I'm not going to pick him now. That 44 pick could be tight end. That 44 pick could be a good linebacker, a good safety. We could drop back one pick and pick up a second rounder for New Orleans. We got options here. Oh, yeah. Go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
He breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds, too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati. You know, I gave no indication that I was giving a mock draft. Like, none at all. There was no mock talk. I mean, the name of the video was Perspective. And it's hard not to talk about having perspective. When you consider all the fighting, yelling amongst our fan base, the amount of people that yell horrendously evil things to each other, me included. And then you have an event like yesterday take place, and you would hopefully get some perspective. Damar Hamlin, unless anybody's heard more news, I've heard no updates. And although the initial updates were really, really encouraging when they said regular heartbeat, regular vitals, blood pressure, that was really big. But when the no news since then, and the fact that he's incubated and asleep is absolutely terrifying. And we haven't heard that he's up. We haven't heard they're taking it out, and he's breathing on his own, and all of that is terrifying. And it brings perspective. And I just wanted to have, before Ryan's show, before the panel goes on, just wanted to talk about the Jets and talk about perspective. And I will admit, and I'll show you right now so you see that I'm not lying. I'm going to show you something right now. Let's see, present, share screen. I did have this ready. I started the draft, and we're pick 13, and there's trade offers and all kinds of things. So I did have that ready if people wanted to start playing around with mock drafts, which is interesting. Yeah, ventilator is what I meant when I said incubated. I don't know what Matthias Simon is talking about. This is the kind of thing that is, what could you say? Here we go again. Are you talking about mock drafts? When you say fans are sick of this? Or are you actually sitting here saying fans are sick of each one of us bringing him up? Did you think I wasn't going to bring up this young player who just yesterday almost died on the field? And maybe thought that there should be some perspective on how we yell and scream at people and each other when clearly there's more important things in life to think about? Is that what you're against? Or are you against a mock draft? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I just want to know. You think he means the mock? I hope so. I hope he means the mock. Because I'm going to be pretty terrified if there's somebody out there that thinks it's wrong to just mention what happened yesterday, because it's chilling, it's upsetting, it's awful. And I did obviously wanted to talk about it. It's so hard to watch something like that. You're watching a game and you're ready for a really good, fun game to watch. What a great game Cincinnati Buffalo. They had a great game lined up. And, to see something like that, it's terrifying. I mean, I know myself as an educator, it's hard for me to watch because I see kids, like, my students are, I have so many students that are older than him. It's ridiculous. My oldest students, the kids I started teaching when I started becoming a teacher, they're over 30 now. A lot of them have families. And to watch a 26-year-old, a 24-year-old, and they put videos out of him with his mom and his family, and it was it's so hard because I see how much these parents love their kids, like as a teacher, as an educator, in meetings, and not even being a parent myself, but just being an uncle, I would know, obviously. But it's just chilling. It's just chilling, and to think what they're going through and what that family is going through. So of course, have to talk about it a little bit and put things in perspective, that horrible things can happen to any of us at any time. And it's like, think about the things that you say to each other. And, if something happened to somebody after you said something to them, like, how would you feel? And it's just doesn't seem to be worth it. Like, there's more important things to be upset about, and we're hating on each other for having different opinions on football. I just think it has to stop. So, that was what I meant. Now, we don't have a lot of time because I'm not going to obviously stay over 8 p.m. because the panel is coming tonight, I'm pretty sure. So I do think it's funny because I didn't say anything about the draft in the in in the title or anything, but I was thinking, well, after I talk about it a little bit and let out my feelings a little bit about this poor kid, and what his family and he is going through, that we would need to talk about something. And it's like, it's interesting because I don't think it's too early to talk about a draft, because what the game next week is meaningless. To me, in my opinion, I would like to see some players play. Like, I'd like to see Sherwood play. I'd like to see Mims play the whole game. Screw Corey Davis. Let's see if Mims is up to replacing him. Let's give him a game. Things like that. Like, to see certain guys we don't get to see. Jeremy Ruckert. Wouldn't it be great to see him play a full NFL football game and get an opportunity to play? So other than that, the game doesn't mean much. And people want to make a joke out of mock drafts and everything, but I know that people really like it because I built a whole channel on it. And Green Bean doesn't everybody, as much as they joke about it. I think that we all agreed we didn't want to be doing it in December like last year. And we didn't. We didn't really do mocks. We didn't have to, because we were in it, and that's what we wanted. As bad as the season ended, it's what we wanted to be in meaningful games in December, and we're in a meaningful game in January. Am I satisfied with the year? No, because expectations change. Let's be honest. Yes, eventually we might, in a month from now, say, hey, we improved. We went from 4-13 to whatever it's going to be, 7 or 8 wins. And the franchise is going in the right direction, and we have young, exciting players. But we don't have to take that high road now. We don't. I mean, it's Tuesday. On Sunday, we watched a disgraceful game. It was disgraceful. The Jacksonville was disgraceful. The Jacksonville game was disgraceful. But then to get 10 days off and come back and put another disgraceful game. And some people saying, well, Mike White wasn't this or that. We got to stop with the nonsense of blaming Mike White. I'm not saying he played well. Of course, I'm not saying that. I'm not. But that wasn't just about Mike White. Right? I mean, they looked the same, whether it was Zach, whether it was Mike White. The only good flash we had in those entire 2 games was Streveler, because he was running with the ball and playing a wildcat offense, which makes Mike LaFleur's situation even more humiliating and embarrassing for him. Because the only thing that worked was like this freakish thing of playing a wildcat. And that was much better than his offense. So it's we're allowed to be upset about this. We're allowed to be angry. We shouldn't be angry at each other. We shouldn't attack people personally. We shouldn't attack Mike LaFleur personally. We shouldn't yell at him or spit at him or throw hate at him or call his family or contact him on Twitter. We may, as fans, say, I don't think Mike LaFleur is the right offensive coordinator for this team to take us forward. See, because Mike LaFleur is not saying, this team doesn't mean much to me. I'm not going to try. And I'm not going to put effort in. I'd rather drink a beer. Like, that's not what's happening. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. Everybody in this world, if you keep getting promoted up, you get to a point in your life where you either succeed at the highest level or you fail and you go back down to the last spot ahead, right? Because maybe that wasn't you. Maybe you're a team lead on your computer development team. They make you a manager. So now you're managing 3 teams and you do well. They make you a director and you suck. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you met your limit as a person. You met your limit and you met your skill set. So you go back down to being a second level manager. Right? So if Michael LaFleur is not good enough at this job, it's not about hating Mike LaFleur. It's about just acknowledging he's not good enough and he's got to go. But we take our anger out too far. I mean, it's okay to vent and say, he sucks. Fine. I'm going to say that too. We say that about players. We're going to say it. But when you reach out to their family, when you reach out to them, when you wait in a parking lot for them to be walking out to scream it in their face, human beings that are leaving their job that are already upset, and you're going to scream at them as if they're dogs, if they're not people? It's not okay. And the perspective of watching a young man almost die on the football field should tell you that. Because I'm not. Don't be surprised if that same player, when he gave up a pass or a touchdown, didn't have certain fans calling him a piece of shit and saying he sucks. But how do you think that fan feels now? Because really, he was just a 24-year-old kid living out a dream, fighting to live a dream, fighting to be great, dreaming of being great, being able to help the team win, of having a career. That's all these guys are. They're people living their dream, doing everything they can. So it's one thing at the moment to say, he sucks, this one's a piece of shit, this one sucks. It's another thing to actually have time to settle down, get on your computer the following day, and send a message to another human being's mother or family member or that human being and start insulting them and telling them they suck. Think about you at your job. Are you perfect at your job? If you had a bad day at work, if you made a mistake, if you messed up, would you want someone calling you at work or sending you a message that you don't even know telling you suck? Do you think you deserve that? So let's at least be reasonable human beings. I mean, this is a way you could express it, right? This is a reasonable way to say something. Mike LaFleur may be good eventually, but he isn't good right now. And the Jets don't have the luxury to wait it out. The Jets need an experienced OC. Mike White just is inexperienced, nothing personal. Thank you. Thank you. That's all we're saying. And I understand that Microfox, and on the day that it happens, like while we're watching the game, it might not come out that diplomatically. And that's okay too. To be mad in the moment. But we all got to be able to chill out afterwards and remember that these are just human beings. Like Zach Wilson, if he never plays another play for us again, if he goes away and he becomes an analyst or whatever he does with his life, understand, he didn't do this on purpose. He wanted to succeed. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. There's nothing, he doesn't deserve to be yelled at and put down and insulted. That's just us, and I'll say us, taking our problems out on him or our inability to cope, our anger, because we're filling voids Everybody is. Our hobbies, our passions, things we like are filling voids. It's fulfilling our life. And when that goes away or someone harms that, we attack. But we shouldn't, because we have to remember they're just people too. So right now, let's have good, healthy talk about what this team needs to do to get up to the next level. One of the things you might feel this team needs to do is get a new offensive coordinator, and that's fine. I don't dispute or think that it's unreasonable for someone to be of the opinion we need a new offensive coordinator. I also don't think it's unreasonable for someone to make the argument, well, let's see what happens if we give them a healthy, good offensive line and competent quarterback play. And I will honor that person's opinion and say maybe they're right and maybe we shouldn't give up on him too soon. So, you know, we could be better people about it. And I'm not saying game day. Like, part of being a fan is screaming and cursing and being frustrated on game day. And everybody does it differently. It's okay to say, I hate this team. I can't watch it. This piece of crap team, same old Jets, shut the TV off. Of course, we all know you sneak on your phone and look, and if they start coming back, you turn the TV back on. All that's fine. To each his own. But you have to be able to calm down. You have to be able the next day to not go onto Twitter and attack people. Like, once you go to that level, now we're talking about mental health issues. Now we're talking about possible need for therapy. It's a sport, guys. We're watching teams compete and trying to win games. Games. That's what this is. As you can tell, I invest as much of my time as anybody else into this, and I want this as bad as everybody else. But when I've had time to sit and think, the first thing I do is calm down on the people. Yeah, the OC doesn't even have a 2-minute drill playbook, throwing up the middle with 120 left in the game and one timeout. When you see that, when you want to ring someone's neck. Yeah, during the game, I'm screaming, "You dumb piece of crap! You piece of manure! You dumb idiot!" You yell it out at the TV. But if Mike LaFleur came walking over to me afterwards, even I'm not that. I mean, as soon as if he's walking to me and it's personal and you're looking him in the face, most people wouldn't even say it because you wouldn't have the guts to look at, and rightfully so. There's some part of your brain that would tell you can't go up to another human being and yell at another human being. Right? Some part of your brain would tell you this is wrong. But for those that don't and do it, they need therapy. They need help. Because we're adults, and there's got to be a level of an ability to control our behavior and the way we carry ourselves and the way we behave. It's not okay to go over to other people and yell at them and scream at them and insult them. It's just not okay. And again, it goes back when people talk about free agents and wanting to play here. The league talks. Everybody sees what we're doing to Zach. They see the Twitters and the mom, all that stuff gets in the news. Who's going to want to play here? Who's going to want to come and be a Jet? If you're a free agent and say, well, if things don't go well, they're going to attack my family on Twitter. I think it's all the fan base, though. I refuse to sit there and say this is a Jet fan problem, because it's not. It's not. There's a Twitter video of a Eagles guy wishing death or something on Minshew, right? The guy and the Eagles are in. I think they're the number 1 seed. I mean, it's like he lost a meaningless game or whatever, even if it has meaning, whatever. He's a backup quarterback, and the guy's on Twitter like wishing death on somebody. That guy needs therapy. That guy needs help. You think Gary Minshew came out and performed bad on purpose? I mean, come on. I mean, and there's a reason why they stay in the locker room and they shouldn't leave the stadium the first hour because, yeah, the first hour, we're pissed. The first hour, don't look at Twitter. Maybe we shouldn't go on Twitter the first hour. Like, it's, I mean, just we got to calm ourselves. You got to learn your own limitations. You have to recognize, you know what? I get really, like, I recognize it, that I get crazy. So I'm very careful about what I say on Buffalo's channel after the game. Sometimes not careful enough. And then I usually sit in silence and don't say anything for a long time. Like, I'm very quiet. And I wait until I feel like I can talk about it. And I've gotten better at calming down. Like, better and better at calming down. Like, I get more upset at the fans. I get more upset at the things I read than I do the Jets losing. It's more upsetting to see what the fans do. The toxicity of this fan base, and not just this fan base, but the other fans rubbing it in our face, and just people being just low life people. That upsets me more than the game itself. And every part of me wants to yell and make fun and stomp on like every single fan when we win and get my revenge. And then I never do because I always decide that would just make me like them. So anyway, I'm going to go onto this page here. Hold on, where it is. Let me go to this mock draft. Let me see if I can make it whole screen. Okay. I don't know if I can make it big enough for you guys to see it, unfortunately. Let me see if I can like blow it up. I don't know if that helps. I don't know. I don't think that really blows it up for you guys. But what I'll do is I can still see the chat from YouTube, so that's good. Here's an interesting scenario if we were in the draft. Right off the bat, it gets fun and interesting. Because people are taking quarterbacks like Bryce Young goes to Houston. Quentin Johnson goes to Chicago. That makes sense. Great wide receiver. Give a weapon to yeah, hell yeah, I'm pretty heated, Paul, during the live streams. I just said that. That's why I need to calm down before I talk, and that's why I need to breathe and control myself. But the point is that's not like at that moment, I shouldn't seek out Joe Douglas. Like when I'm that heated, I shouldn't go onto Twitter and that's the point. I shouldn't tweet the parents or the wife of the players while I'm feeling that way. That's the point. I should just do whatever I do. Punch the desk, yell, curse. Will Anderson going to Seattle. Okay. Jordan Addison, 2 wide receivers in the top 4. Look at that in this draft. There's the defensive tackle that's not going to slip, but if he did, Jalen Carter, wow. Put another Quinnen Williams next to Quinnen Williams. 3 quarterbacks go. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and Anthony Richardson. He goes to Atlanta almost every mock draft. And then here we are. Look at that. They have Tampa taking Will Lewis from Kentucky. So we're right now. It's looking like we're going 13. And I know there's definitely a linebacker there, Trenton Simpson from Clemson. Seen him a little bit. He's really good. I didn't know he was going to be ranked this high, to be honest. I honestly didn't. He's only 225, which is a good thing. That makes him our type of linebacker. He's not an oversized one. He's probably more of a coverage one. It says he can line up all the field. He has the ability to dominate all over the field. It's a beautiful thing. But right before him is a man named Paris Johnson. Now, Dom C told me that there is no chance at all Paris Johnson is slipping to the Jets. So because he did, the value is so high, you have to take him. This is the number 1 tackle coming out of the draft. This is a home run grand slam for us. You want to look at the trades? Trade offers. Denver wants us to drop down to 28 and give us their 109, but they'll give us their 66 pick and next year's first round pick. That's huge. It's hard to ignore things like this. The Rams are saying, we'll give you, it's so funny. The Rams just hate drafting. They want to give us their 37th, drop down to 37, but we get their 69. We had that last year. and we get their first in 2024. These are good offers, guys. Then the Colts come in, and might be the best one because the Colts are gonna, I don't see that organization turning around anytime soon. And they're coming in and saying, hey, we'll drop down to 36. We'll upgrade your 109 to 77. But next year, we'll give you our first and second. Don't think Joe Douglas wouldn't be tempted by that. Don't think he wouldn't be tempted by that. To start building up another great draft year, a draft year that's just loaded. And we still get 2 picks this draft. Because I don't know that we want a first-round pick in the sense of the finances or anything like that. And I don't know. Sometimes teams take breaks from those first-round picks and they load up for another year. I don't know. I'm going to reject it all because, as I said before, if Paris Johnson is there, we take him. You guys, everybody complains about offensive line. You want to fix the offensive line, you take Paris. You just take him. Because then if Becton comes back, you're dominant. And if it's not Becton, it's Max Mitchell, good enough. But man, if you get a rookie Becton back, if you get Becton back looking great, looking like Becton, it would be amazing. Can you? Because remember, Becton was an amazing run blocking tackle. So can you imagine AVT comes back, plays on the right side with Becton, and they're just a running machine, like they're just run blocking. And then on the other side, you have Lincoln. We're stuck with Lincoln. There's no point, whatever, average. But then you get this guy, this young stud that maybe makes Lincoln look a little bit better. I like it. Okay, we got some trade offers for our second pick. Look at this. Trade down to 66, but we get 68 also. 144. I think in the beginning we should reject these and just look at the kind of talent we can get. I thought that, there he is. Anybody want a center? Because if you're interested in the center, this guy, John Michael Schmitz, sounds like a song, dying, 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 Jingleheimer Schmitz. Well, this guy is supposed to be a stud. So this would be our center for the next 5 to 10 years. 6'4", 320, guys. Super flexible, fast, good hips, great burst. Special. But who's up there? Another linebacker, because we missed out on linebacker. You got Henry Toto. He didn't come out last year. He could have. Not interested in tight ends. Not interested in edge. I'm not being tempted by any edges. I don't think that wide receiver is out of the question. If Joe Douglas loves a wide receiver, it's like it's not impossible we take a wide receiver. It really isn't, because we might not bring back Corey Davis. So the question is okay, you got Garrett Wilson, you got Elijah as your slot. Who's your number 2 receiver? Is it going to be Mims? Do they trust him that much? So there's a hole. If we don't bring back Corey Davis, there's a hole. So if they took a guy like Rashee Rice, it's it's not shocking. No, he's not related to Jerry Rice. If he was, man, I think he'd be ranked higher. He's 6'2", 203. Yeah. Middle size. I don't know, but the most exciting player here is John Michael Schmitz. Because can you imagine? That would be a totally... I imagine the first 2 picks, we just do offensive line. And then you get Tucker back. And Becton comes back. And now you have this guy, Schmitz, at center. You got Becton and Paris in there. And you got AVT back. The only liability you got is Lakin, but I think Lakin would be better surrounded by all that talent. I really do. I'm going to take him. Oh, Jordan Battle. Jordan Battle, the problem with him is he's not a free safety. He's a strong safety. And we do need a strong safety, but we really need a free safety. And we already passed on Brian Branch. I'm going to take the center. Just be like the Cowboys. That's right. Let's build up an offensive line that's just ridiculous. That's disgusting. That terrifies other teams all over the league. Then we get into the point of the draft where it goes beyond my depth. So I start looking at guys like DeMarvion Overshown. And I think that's a really cool name. And let's look at his height. 6'4", 220. It's another guy who's probably good in coverage. Not too big. Not a giant 250, 260-pound linebacker. Rangy. He stalks the backfield. He can lurk at the second level, rise up to snatch immediate passes, has ball skills to make plays at the catch point. See, I love stuff like that, guys. Turnover machine. DeMarvion Overshown. I'm going to grab him just to piss off Dom C. He's going to be like, you shouldn't have taken him. You made a mistake. Okay. Then we go to round 4. We got to start looking for a safety now, guys. What's up, Mess? Oh, Ricky Stromberg is a center that's still there. Look at that. Look at all these centers. Luke Weiler. There's a bunch. We already got that position. But you know who I see right over here? Safety Demani Richardson from Texas A&M. No information on him. So we're going to take a flyer and say, what the hell? We need a safety. And we're going to grab him. Oh, this is such a fun draft class. This first draft is going to be so much fun to look back at this and make fun of me, isn't it? Okay, 144. New England wants to give us 2 picks for it. I'm going to tell them to kick tires. And let's see what we got here. We got a linebacker now. We got a safety. Let's just take this. Let's look for a big tackle. 6'4", 304. I like it. Is he big enough for us? Sure. And I like the last name Pickens. So there you go. All right, guys. So let's look at how we did because I think that's it. I think that's all of our picks. Would have taken that trade. Oh, for the 2 extra picks. I mean, I should have just because Twisted. I don't even know who they are anyway, the guys. So I should have just done it, just to have more names. But you know. Okay. Let's see where we are. Here we go. So who did we end up with? We ended up with Paris Johnson, offensive tackle, center. So we walked out of this draft. We would have a center. We'd have a tackle. We'd have a linebacker. We'd have a safety. And hold on one sec. And we got a tackle, defensive tackle. So we addressed all the positions at least. I know I'm not used to so few picks, Anthony. Isn't it messed up? It's so messed up. But, I mean, it wouldn't be horrible. Look, we could trade down that first pick and get a lot of picks if we want. But I don't know if we want to be a lot of picks. I don't know if they're looking for that. You think I'd be executive of the year with this draft? Really? I'll take it, but I'm just learning. To be honest, I'm just learning. Like, I don't know. Let me stop sharing. I'm just learning. So about these players, we got a long offseason. Dom C is going to really help us out. So we're really going to get to see, like, you know, what we got and who we need. And we're going to have a lot of favorite players. I promise you, if you keep watching, watch me on Sunday nights after the season with Dom C. You guys are going to fall in love with prospects. Because Dom C is great at it. So we're all going to be like falling in love with certain guys. And it's going to make the draft so much fun. So stay tuned. So look, it's 5:00. You know what that means? It's panel time. Jets Talk 24/7. It's time for the panel. I can't compete with that. Just wanted to say hello. It was nice and fun to do a little quick mock draft. Wanted to just share my my perspective on what happened yesterday. And I don't know about you guys, but I'll have this kid in my mind for a while, and I hope he's okay. So with that all being said, thanks for joining. I'll see you later. We got a big YouTube night of people. The panel, Green Bean. It's going to be a long night with lots of good content. Enjoy it. And I'll be back tomorrow for my show, the Wacky Wednesday Show. Thanks for being here, everybody. Take care. greatest co-host in the world, Watsuke99. Get ready to rumble!
The tag team champions of the world.
My brotherly crevasse.
That is the best intro I have ever received.
The world. The Buffalo Jets man.
Yo.
George Fant is a barely above replacement level, pretty good left tackle.
How can you say
Compare
that when
that
he
to
was
an-
top 3 in sack percentage last year for left tackles?
And I think when in doubt, until you have better reason, go with the optimistic view. And our defensive line is going to be giving a lot of people some trouble.
But yeah, it's got to be. I'm with you. I don't like the Nathan's fries when they're like floppy. It's got to be like done really well. You know, it's very hard to teach 6'3" and 4.3 speed. That's very rare. The talent's there. He's just got to put it together mentally.
Right.
To get
You're a
onto
cheater.
you, I'm a cheater.